Rick Jackson's heartbreaking ACL injury has sparked a massive conversation across the WNBA. Shortly after the Chicago Sky Star went down against the Minnesota Lynx, veteran guard Natasha publicly called out the officiating and claimed that the referees failed to control the game's physicality before Jackson got hurt. But not everyone around the league agrees that the officials were directly responsible for what happened. Truthfully, I think it's Bulls, Cloud said after the game. You can be mad at me if you want to, but I'll be damned if we keep getting players hurt in this league on any team, because we refuse to control the game. The frustration from Cloud stemmed from the fact that she had warned officials earlier in the game about the rising physicality on the floor. But according to her, they refused to take action, and the consequence of that was the Sky losing one of their stars for the rest of the season. However, during the latest episode of WNBA on NBC, analysts Natalie Esquire and Terrika Foster-Brasby pushed back on her criticism. After re-watching the play multiple times, it appeared to me to be a non-contact injury, Esquire explained. So I'm not sure in this case. Even if the refs were officiating the game according to the standards that Natasha Cloud is looking for, I'm not sure that would have prevented or stopped the injury from occurring. I understand her frustration and her sentiment at the time, but I'm just not sure that was a direct result of the injury here. Rick Jackson suffered the injury during the second quarter of Chicago's 86-79 win over Minnesota when her left knee buckled while attacking the basket in transition. The 25-year-old immediately collapsed to the floor, screaming in pain, before trainers helped her back to the locker room. And shortly afterward, medical evaluations confirmed the worst-case scenario, a torn ACL in her left knee that will sideline her for the remainder of the season. So Terrika Foster-Brasby largely agreed with Esquire's assessment and pointed out that the defender did not appear to make any dangerous play that directly caused Jackson's knee injury. However, she also argued that Cloud's broader frustration with officiating around the league is still completely valid. Natasha Cloud is not wrong, Foster-Brasby said, and two things can be true. There have been many times this season, and this season is barely 2 weeks in, where we have questioned how the officials have controlled the game. We have questioned how the officials have called the game. These players are professionals, but they're also emotional at times. Sometimes things get physical. I'm not at all asking for the game to be soft. But even Foster-Brasby stressed that poor officiating in Jackson's injury should not automatically be treated as the same issue. I can probably count on one hand how many times over the last just 3 days of games that I've seen fouls that should have been called and were not, she added. But I don't think that directly correlates to what happened to Rikia. While players, fans, and analysts continue debating whether the league's officiating standards played any role in the situation, the timing makes the loss even more devastating for Chicago because Rikia Jackson had been playing the best basketball of her young WNBA career. Through the Sky's opening 3 games, she averaged 22 points and 6 rebounds, while quickly emerging as one of the league's breakout stars. We're devastated that Rikia suffered this injury, but we are confident she will make a full recovery, Sky General Manager Jeff Pagliacca said. Rikia was playing at an all-star and all-defensive level early in the season. Now, with Jackson officially ruled out for the remainder of the year, the Sky suddenly faces a much bigger question moving forward. Who will replace one of their most important pieces? And fans got the answer when Chicago took the floor against the Dallas Wings. Inside the Rikia Jackson void, the Sky already knew replacing Jackson would require a complete team effort. But their first game without her quickly showed just how difficult that task will become moving forward. Against the Wings, Chicago shifted its offense toward Camila Cardoso, and the young star responded with one of her best performances of the season. Cardoso dominated inside with 24 points and 11 rebounds, while helping the Sky repeatedly attack Dallas in the paint. At the same time, Natasha Cloud and Skylar Diggins both took on far more offensive responsibility in the backcourt. Cloud finished the game with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, while Diggins added another 15 points as Chicago tried to keep up with Dallas without Rikia Jackson's shot creation on the wing. Gabriela Jaquez also brought energy off the bench and contributed 12 points and 5 rebounds in 28 minutes. But even with these players giving it their all, Chicago still saw a massive problem when it came to floor spacing. The Sky knocked down just 5 3-pointers the entire night and struggled to consistently stretch Dallas defensively. that allowed the Wings to erase their early lead before pulling away behind Paige Buchers and Eriko Gunbowl in the second half and ultimately giving them their second loss of the season. So as Chicago continues adjusting to life without Rickea Jackson, the early signs show both promise and limitation. The Sky can still generate production through multiple hands, but replacing her two-way impact and spacing ability won't come easy, and their latest game was an example of that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Olympics Training News 24.